Hello, it's your video for the week from me, and a very poorly me, unfortunately. But we still have three things to talk about. The first is AI tracking tools, the second is Meta's AI investments, and the third is the US TikTok deal. So the first piece of news this week is some research which I actually took part in from Spark Toro, looking at how AI tracking tools that will look at your brand on ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, etc., work, and whether they're actually really worth it. Hundreds of millions of money has been invested in AI tracking tools to help brands understand where they appear and perhaps try and give ideas of what they can do to get further into the LLMs. Unfortunately, it does appear that those tools are probably giving you a duff read, or at least a very weak signal in terms of your brand validity. The research shows that the chance of getting just even two brands the same from even 1,000 prompts across different places is going to be very small, with less than 1% of chance of the same answer coming back. What does that mean? Well, if you are using these tools in a very light way, which I guess everybody is, the data you're getting is very duff or very unreliable. And if you are going to use this data seriously, you need to run the same prompt hundreds, if not thousands of times to get to any statistical significance. It's not to say that AI tracking tools can't work. They can, but we just have to be very cautious with the data we get back. If you have any interest in this at all, this is probably the most important article you can read this week. Second piece of news this week is that Meta are not slowing down with their AI investments, and recently announced they will be doubling their AI infrastructure spend in 2026 to nearly £100 billion, 97 to be precise. That is up 100% from last year, and again shows Mr. Zuckerberg is not backing down when it comes to AI. The stock market actually liked this news and pushed the stock up 7% overnight. So if you don't think Meta is a serious player in this space and you've never used any of their tools, I haven't, one to definitely keep an eye on as the year progresses, because it's going to be woven into everything that Meta does from this point onwards, for good or maybe bad. Third piece of news this week is the final announcement that the TikTok delineation between China and America finally happened through Congress. We now have a US-only TikTok version, which is still largely controlled by ByteDance, but now also by Mr. Trump's acolytes, such as Mr. Ellison, Michael Dell from Dell Computers, and a variety of other cohorts. What does that mean for the US? Well, if you're trying to push your brand there, the algorithm will work differently to over here and other places. How it's going to be retrained on US data, we don't quite know, but some people have already reported a somewhat buggy version of TikTok, and maybe people will stop using it. Again, we will have to see. Also, the data collection through the new US platform seems to have increased rapidly, and you have to wonder quite what they're going to do with all this new data. We have to wait and see as well. But interesting news, one that I think both parties ultimately win from, and I don't think is going to happen in the UK. That's it from me. See you next time.